These are the spicy romance books that were the hardest for me to give up when I gave up spice. My name is Oshina and I have a history of reading spicy romance. And when I say spice, I mean sexually explicit scenes on page. I used to read those kinds of books. I want to share my story. I want to share the testimony that there is freedom with Jesus when you give up spice and that there is a better way and there's better books to be reading. I wanted to make this video just to relate to you. Maybe you do read these books, maybe you want to, maybe you've seen them around. I just want to share my take on them. They're books and authors that I see so often, and the descriptions of the books sound really good and I wish I could read them. Some of these books I started reading and I had to DNF. Some of them just are very tempting for me to pick up, and others I actually did read the whole thing. So I'm going to share those books with you. Please hear me. Please let this be very clear that I am not judging anyone who has read these books and enjoyed them. I am not here to point fingers. I am just sharing my experience, and I hope that that comes across when I talk about these books. If you have read these books and you continue to read them, that is okay. You are welcome here. I am just sharing my perspective on these authors and these books, hopefully just to relate to you, and maybe it will trigger you to go watch my testimony video, and maybe you will be inspired to read clean romance rather than spicy. So I'm gonna get into this now. So you already know the two books if you watched my testimony video. The two books that I got so close to the end but I did have to DNF. First is Beach Read by Emily Henry. I was very excited about this book, and when I started it, I fell in love with the writing style. I get it. When everyone says they love Emily Henry and she is some golden standard for romance and women's fiction, I get it. Her writing is really good. Like, Beach Read was great, but there were several spicy scenes that triggered me so hard, and so I can't read her books, and I wish that I could. Every time she comes out with a new release, I wonder, like, should I just try it? Maybe it won't be as spicy as Beach Read was, but all of her books have, I've been told, have spice in them. So like, what's the difference, you know, depending on how many scenes, whatever. And I actually heard her most recent one, A Great Big Beautiful Life, had more spicy scenes than her other books, but also a lot of people didn't like it. So I'm like, interesting. But still, just saying that Emily Henry, I wish I could read her books. I get it. And for me, I just cannot skip those scenes. I will just read through them and it'll trigger me, and it's not healthy, so I cannot read her. And then the other one is The Simple Wild by K.A. Tucker. I don't know if she's still publishing. I haven't followed her career as much. She's not as big as Emily Henry, but I really liked her book, The Simple Wild, because it followed a Canadian and she was going to Alaska to see her dad, and I just really liked that setting. I related to it. It had a spicy scene and I had to DNF it at that point, but I was really enjoying the story. I liked her writing style, and I totally would have read the whole series and just followed this author's career, but I got triggered so hard in that spicy scene that I'm like, I'm done. I cannot get back to that. So yes, she's another one that I just won't even consider any of her books unless someone explicitly tells me that there's no explicit scenes in it. I can't risk it. Okay, here's another author and book that I started and I didn't get to any spicy scenes, but I did DNF it. Love on the Brain by Ali Hazelwood. Ali Hazelwood. Wish I could read her books. I really like the idea of women in STEM, and that I've heard that she writes like, oh, the big muscular man and the tiny little girl, but it still sounds fun. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try Love on the Brain. I'm gonna do it. And I started reading it, and yeah, there was some language, and as I was reading it, I felt like probably just the conviction of the Holy Spirit saying like, you know, I think you should put that down. Don't be reading that. And I was like, you're right. So yeah, I DNF'd it pretty early in. I only got a couple chapters in until I was like, what am I doing? This is a waste of my time. I should be reading something else. So I didn't get very far, and she has been going down a paranormal romance road now, which would have been right up my alley 10 years ago, but I have heard terrifying things about her paranormal romance books, and I will not be touching those at all, because sexually explicit scenes between creatures like that, no. That's like getting down into the like really dark that I'm like, I cannot believe that this is being promoted and that we're okay with reading this. But hey, if you've read it, if you read Bride and you're like, woohoo, good for you. But I'm like, there is better out there, please. Okay, next. Here's one that I actually read the whole thing. Just for the Summer, Ali Jimenez. Okay, so Ali Jimenez, just from the beginning, I was like, starting her books, she has language, so much language that I was like, this is not even enjoyable. Like the vulgar language in her books is quite upsetting. But when Just for the Summer came out, I saw actually a lot of Christians, or just people, I mean, yeah, Christians, reviewing it and saying that the story was so good and that the spice was so easily skippable that you should still give it a try because the story was so good. So I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna try it. And there are times when I feel like, almost like God's like, maybe you need a little reminder that this is not for you, because I didn't feel convicted to not read it. I didn't feel convicted to stop reading it while I was reading it. And yeah, there's like 2 spice scenes and they are mild, but the language around them was so lustful. I still had a reaction and it was still bad. But I feel like God allowed me to read that book to get to the end of it and say, so how do you feel after that? Not great, right? Don't do that again. You know, I just feel like he was saying, even that, it's not enough. You have to. And I even have a reading vlog actually where I talk about Just for the Summer. So I will link it down below if I can find it. It's like 2 years old, a year old. I don't remember. Whenever Just for the Summer came out, because I read it the same month that it came out. And I do really like her writing style, but too much vulgar language. And then the way she writes the spice scene, the message that is communicated through the spice scene is that it's perfectly normal and okay to not be married and sleep with someone. And that spice is meant to like pleasure you. Like that is the message that I get. That's just me. But the language around the scene and just like how she, you know, wrote the scene, it just was so lustful. Like that's how I read it. So that's why I'm not okay with it. And but she is one where I am tempted to still read it because yes, it was less detailed. I will say, of the spice that's out there, it is less detailed, but it's detailed still enough that it's still too much for me. So depending on your comfort level, I could understand why Christians said that it's okay to read this book. But again, that vulgar language is the other kicker. And then still, it was too much for me. So there you go. Do with that what you will. Okay, a couple Canadian authors that I want to read their books so bad just because like I do like my country that I live in. And most media that I consume is all American based, which, hey, I love America, it's fine. But it's really exciting when you find a book set in your country. And there's 2 authors that are Canadian and that write based in Canada. Stephanie Archer, I don't know if you guys have heard of her. She's just on Kindle Unlimited. She has this book called Behind the Net. It's called the Vancouver Storm series. And it's cool because I think it's a hockey team called Vancouver Storm and I live in Vancouver. So that's pretty cool. I wish that I could read that book and be like, hey, I know these street names she's talking about, or I know this area or whatever. I don't know if she like writes right in the setting, but, and then I looked up her bio and she's from Vancouver as well. And so I'm like, that's so cool. A local author. But literally in the description of Behind the Net, it says a spicy hockey romance. And I'm like, no, like I can't do it, but I wish I could, you know, it's one of those things. Cause I mean, come on, Canada, let's give me some clean stuff. Anyways, the other one is Elsie Silver. She has a couple series. I don't even remember. Chestnut Springs, right? And then Rose Hill, I think are the series. And I just think it's so cool. She must be from Alberta because that's the province beside British Columbia where I live. And it's like a small town, Alberta, with a ranch, and it's like so local. I just can like picture it. But I've heard her books are spicy and I'm like, oh, I wish I could read them. Like they sound so good, but I'm like, I won't do it. I can't read that spice. So yeah, I've never tried either of those authors and I will not be, but I, again, wish I could because I want to support Canadian authors, but not the spicy ones. Okay, like a throwback older one, The Deal by Elle Kennedy. this was so popular, like when I was younger, like a long time ago. Because yeah, it's an older book, but it's all been covered. What do you call it? It's all, whatever. It has new covers. Maybe it got picked up traditionally. I don't know. But literally the deal is about these college kids and like teaching each other about sex. But it's like so popular. And I'm like, you know what? It makes sense. There is some mystery around sex that we're like, we have questions. We want to know what's going on. And okay, education, parents, church doesn't teach you. So you got to go find it out for yourself. And yeah, that sucks because then it just gives you such a lustful, skewed view of what intimacy is supposed to be. And that's so heartbreaking. So anyways, that's another one where I'm like, I think the writing style, like, okay, I love sports romance. I do. I really like sports romance. I like college romance. But the spicy ones, though, they are just so lustful. It's like literally sex obsessed. And I'm just sick of it. Like, no, come on, give me a better story than that, you know? Okay, two more. This author, very controversial. Jessa Hastings. Okay. Magnolia Parks. Wow. Okay, so let me tell you. I started Magnolia Parks, actually. I did start it. I got it from the library, and I actually just got the ebook on my phone, and I was reading it. And again, the language, like the vulgar language. And yeah, I mean, it's known to be this toxic relationship. I couldn't stand it. I couldn't even get past chapter 1. First of all, that there was a lot of language. Second, that right off the bat, this guy is so mean to her. And I'm like, why are you okay with this? Like, and oh, I know there's some realistic pieces in there where like people take I'm just not okay with that. Like, send a better message, how to be healthy. Like, this is not a romance. Oh, I just couldn't stand it. But it was and I don't know, I've actually heard that there's no spice in Magnolia Parks, but I don't know for sure. Okay, so I also tried Daisy Hates. I started reading Daisy Hates, and first page is mocking prayer and Jesus. And I was like, what? I will say, like, this author, like, is she a Christian? She's married to one, I thought, and it's quite shocking, I have to say. I'm not gonna get into that, and she's definitely in hot water right now. Who talks about Magnolia Parks anymore? Yeah, because this author kind of burned a bunch of bridges, but there's some drama there. I did go down a little rabbit hole at one point, but there you go. So I tried Magnolia Parks and Daisy Hates. I wish that I could be obsessed with this series like everyone else. Like, people are obsessed with this series, but I'm like, why though? Like, it's so toxic and vulgar and mocks Christianity. And then her other books that she's published, all of her covers, even like all of these like religious symbols, Christian symbols, and like even the cover of Daisy Hates literally has Jesus on the cross on the cover of the indie published one. And I'm like, how is this okay? What is this even representing right now? Because then you mock him in your first page of Daisy Hates, and I was like, what? So I'm sorry, I'm a little heated about that. It's very upsetting. But truly, people, the way, I guess it was more like 2 or 3 years ago that she was so popular with Magnolia Parks. And I was like, I have to know, I'm going to start these books. And then I was just so surprised, like how, I just feel like people are brainwashed. I really do. But anyways, I'm just saying, it's fine. If you like okay, odds are you like Magnolia Parks, because I mean, a lot of people like her, and that is okay. I'm not judging you. I promise you, it is okay if you like this series and this author. Just something to think about. That's all I'm gonna say. No judgment though. Do what you gotta do. It's okay. Cause I tried them. Okay, I did, and I don't know, but there you go. Last author is Sarah J. Maas. She is writing like romantasy, but she hasn't published in a while, right? I don't know, but okay, I tried Throne of Glass by her. I read Throne of Glass and Crown of Midnight, and I started Heir of Fire. Oh, and I read The Assassin's Blade too. And then I read A Court of Thorns and Roses. So that's all that I've read by Sarah J. Maas. None of it impressed me. And then the rest of her books I've heard are spicy anyways. So I don't see the hype. I really don't. I do not see the hype. That is okay. In particular with Throne of Glass, I found it so incredibly boring. I don't get it. Like Air of Fire 2, I literally couldn't finish it. I DNF'd it because it was so boring. Like nothing was happening. I'm like, 3 books in? No, I'm done. So I didn't continue. And then A Court of Thorns and Roses, I liked the book. I gave that 4 stars. It is spice free. I don't remember if there's any language, but it's fairies. And the fairies are very evil and very lusty, and I'm not here for it. And then of course the rest of the books in that series have spice, and I won't be reading that. So sorry if I got a little heated, you guys. Everything's fine. You're all welcome here. I promise you, if you read these authors and these books, you are welcome here. I do not judge you, because there's probably books, I mean, I can't think of any, but there's probably books I've read that you're like, that is ridiculous. How could you like that book? I know we all have different standards. It is okay. And I just want to say, if you feel like you are stuck, if you feel like I wish I could stop, but I can't, if you feel like, what am I going to do? There's nothing else to read. Hear me clearly. There is hope. Jesus has made a way. He will never turn you away. You come to him and you say, I don't know how to stop. That's what I did. I'm telling you, watch my testimony. 2 books, The Beach Read and The Simple Wild. I had to cry out to God and say, how do I stop? I don't even want to stop, you know? He had to like give me the power of his Holy Spirit to put those books down. And every single day I scroll through my library, I look on Bookstagram in the bookstores, and I see these books that their marketing is great, okay? The covers make me want to pick those books up. These authors and all the TikToks and everything, I get it. It is so hard because everything is being pushed at you. But I'm telling you, Jesus cares so much. He loves you so much. He will give you a way out. He will make a way for you out of this spicy book obsession. And there are clean books to read. There's Christian fiction and there's just clean. There's no faith-based whatever. So if you're not a Christian and you're like, I don't want that faith content, there is clean options too. Clean published options even, traditionally published. There's a whole bunch of indie clean options, and that is what I talk about on my channel. And if you need options, I will link videos down below giving my top authors to check out, my top books to check out, and then watch my testimony, because I want people to be free. If you feel like I am stuck, you don't have to be stuck. I was there too, and Jesus sees you. He has not forgotten you, and he will give you a way out. So I just want you to hold on to that hope. And for the ones that are like, you're really intense and I think I'm fine, see ya, that is okay. Come back later, you know? I get it. I totally get it. I promise you, like, if you don't feel that conviction, that is okay. You're not there, and that's okay. I hope you can still be entertained and you're still like maybe curious. If you're curious, hi, my name's Oshina, and I used to read very sexually explicit books, and over a span of years and lots of different experiences, God called me out of reading them because I was consumed by lust when I was reading those books, and I'm not anymore. And I praise God for that. And I didn't think it was possible. I had a lot of shame, but Jesus saved me and he made me clean, and he can do that for you too. So thank you for watching, you guys. And yeah, I guess I'd be curious, like, what are your thoughts on the things that I said, and just more encouragement that we're here together. And I'm doing my best to read as many clean and Christian options as I can so that I can recommend them to you. And there's so many other people on YouTube. There are Christian women on YouTube sharing options. It's not just me. So I have a whole video recommending 12 amazing women that you can follow that talk about clean books and recommend them. So go check out that video too. I'll link it down below. And thank you for watching, guys. Thanks for being here. I love you all, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye, guys. These are the books. It's mainly authors. It's not, unfortunately. Yeah. These are the ones that